I can send this app a text message or a photo of a receipt or simply talk to it. And all three different input types result in the same thing, actually one row in the expense table. Let me show you it running and then we'll build it from scratch. I've got application up and running and I've got several CRL commands to trigger the three endpoints that are exposed for inbound messages. The text one, the photo, and the voice. So now let's see what application saved. There are three expenses from each one is generated from different source, which I mentioned before. You could see them on the screen. So now let's prepare the code. Basically, we need another two endpoint, which will be consuming the media type multipart from data value, which is the Spring Boot media type for files to receive, and the multipart file is the object. We will need another method in the service, which will know that it receives the file and which is the input source. Input source is driven by controller and service just is just responsible for the duplication by the external ID, which is already done for receiving the text. So it needs to be the same for the whole flow basically. So we need to make the flow similar. So let's move the common part into the private method, which will be accepting the message, and it will be receiving the supplier. Supplier is basically, you could see how it is created in Java, and well, now in this inbound message, as we will be receiving the file, we need the byte content and the content type, which will be coming inside of this supplier. It's basically going to be created. Two of these values are extracted from file, so content type is already present in file, and bytes, we get bytes from the file and we handle the exception. So yeah, and well, we need to set the fields. Now they will be a bit different, so the payload might be nullable, or this content and content type might be nullable, but that's all right. And let's check now if the receiving part is working, basically the controller that we wrote. So the first request, the second one looks all right, but we print the byte array, so let's fix it. It's toString method. We need to exclude byte array from the logging, so our logs are clean. And yeah, now we need to create several AI assistants. So yeah, we had the one for the text. Now the other one will be for the voice and for the receipt. So they will be working with different file types, the image and the audio. We inject them into the ProcessingFacade, both of these AI assistants, and we need to have the prompt. They need prompt, and as there will be some common rules for the prompt, I decided to extract it into the separate class. It's like string static string with the common rules, and then each assistant can have its single custom part and the common part. As you see, voice assistant works with audio content, and the receipt assistant works with photo. So let's create the multimodal model YML property, just in case we want to change the model at some point. But now it will be the same model for the sake of simplicity. So we inject this model, and here, like the idea is that we split the processing. We maintain the same processing, but we switch it based on the input source. So for any type, we will be parsing the incoming message a bit differently and then saving it. But in the end, each of the messages will be parsed by the AI, just by the different AI assistant. So for the voice AI assistant, we need AudioContent, as it's the parameter it accepts. And for the picture AI assistant, receipt AI assistant in our case, it's ImageContent. And that's basically it. We need to encode our content into the base 64 string and obtain the mime-type from the file. From the inbound message in our case. But yeah, we need to check if the content type is provided correctly, and if it's not, we will just use the fallback, which is image, audio, and basically those two are the defaults. And yeah, now let's hit the URLs again and see if it works. I'll hit several of them twice just to be sure that, you see. Yeah, the main part is not done yet, but it's the simplest part as well. The controller for the expenses, without it we cannot fetch them. So here we can inject the expense repository immediately and just pass the data which it provides through the expense view, so we don't expose the database model into outside of the application, on the HTTP. And let's run the commands again several times each, so we can force the duplication logic. And now hitting the expense URL, we can see in the table that these entries are here. Let's change the external ID now, and with the different external ID, now we should receive the new parsed expense. So here it is processing took some time, but in the end you can see that there are two similar values, and they are coming from the same audio file. That's basically it for the current episode. Hope it was useful, and see you in the next one.